Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wildlife is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovering Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today I'm going to tell you about hippopotamuses. The hippopotamus, also called the common hippopotamus, is a large, mostly herbivorous, semi-aquatic mammal and ungulate native to sub-Saharan Africa. The Latin word hippopotamus is derived from the ancient Greek hippopotamus, from hippos, horse, and potamus, river, meaning course of the river. The name comes from the ancient Greek for river horse or water horse. In English, the plural is hippopotamuses, but hippopotami is also used. Hippos can be used as a short plural. Hippos are gregarious, living in groups of up to 30 animals. A group is called a pod, herd, dill, or bloat. Hippos typically live for around 40 to 45 years. In captivity, they tend to live longer, may reach up to 50 years old. Iona the hippo was the oldest living hippo in captivity. She lived at the Mesker Park Zoo in Ennisville, Indiana in the US until her death in 2012 at the age of 61. Many hippos lived in North Africa and Europe until about 30,000 years ago. They used to be common in Egypt's Nile region from long ago, but they are not there now. Hippos are still found in the rivers and lakes of Uganda, Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, Northern Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Ethiopia, west through Ghana to Gambia, and also in southern Africa, Botswana, Republic of South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia. Some hippos also live in Tanzania and Msumbiji. They like to live in places with water that is not too deep. They are the third largest mammal in the world, only behind the white rhinoceros and the elephant. A male hippopotamus is known as a bull, a female hippopotamus is called a cow, and a baby hippo is called a calf. Until 1909, naturalists grouped hippos with pigs based on molar patterns. Several lines of evidence show that their closest living relatives are crustaceans, whales, dolphins, and porpoises. They have a large, barrel-shaped body, short legs, a short tail, and an enormous head. They have grayish to muddy brown skin, which fades to a pale pink color underneath. Staying out of the water too long can lead to dehydration, so hippos try to remain in water during the day. They do not have true sweat glands. Hippos bask on the shoreline and secrete an oily wet substance, which gives rise to the myth that they sweat blood. The liquid is actually a skin moisturizer and sunblock that may also provide protection against germs. The secretion does help regulate the body temperature. Nevertheless, this natural sunscreen cannot prevent the animal's skin from cracking if it stays out of the water too long. The skin is 2 inches thick. Unlike most other semi-aquatic animals, hippos have very little hair. The average female weighs around 3,000 pounds, while males weigh 3,500 to 9,920 pounds. They are the second heaviest land animal after the elephant. They can grow up to 10 feet long and 5 feet high at the shoulder. Despite its stocky shape and short legs, it is capable of running 90 miles per hour over short distances. Hippos live in groups of up to 30 animals. There have been reports of large hippo herds numbering nearly 200 hippos. When hippos become overpopulated or habitat is reduced, males sometimes attempt infanticide, but this behavior is not common under normal conditions. You would think that hippos are great swimmers as they spend much of their time in the water. However, they don't really swim. They can't even float. They spend up to 16 hours each day in the water. What they do is bound or walk along the bottom of the river. They do not have a lot of fat, which helps them float a bit. But once they sink, they need to walk to shallow water to get back to the surface. Hippopotamuses have small legs because the water in which they live reduces the weight burden. They are incapable of jumping, but do climb up steep banks. Many of the hippo's features enable them to spend a lot of their time in the water. Their eyes, ears, and nose are all at the top of their head. This works out well because it helps them to be almost totally submerged under the water, but at some of the time, they can listen and watch for predators. They also have a clear membrane that covers their eyes and helps them to see underwater. When they go underwater, they can hold their breath for about 5 minutes. The process of surfacing and breathing is automatic, and even a hippo sleeping underwater will rise and breathe without waking. At dusk, hippos leave the watery daytime spot, lumber onto land, and walk as far as 5 miles from the water to graze on short grasses, their main food. Their ears help them hear the sounds of falling fruit, and their keen sense of smell helps them sniff out the tasty treats. Hippos are mostly inactive unless eating, and this helps them conserve energy. Grazing until dawn, a hippo may eat up to 150 pounds of grass a night. They avoid the heat of the sun by returning to a river or lake before sunrise. In times of drought or famine, they may embark on overland migrations that often result in many deaths. By night, hippos walk among familiar paths as far as 6 miles into surrounding grasslands to feed for 5 or 6 hours. Female hippopotamus have a gestation period of 8 months. Female hippos isolate themselves to give birth and return within 10 to 14 days. A baby hippo is called a calf. Calves are born underwater at a weight of between 55 and 110 pounds and can average a length of around 4.17 feet and must swim to the surface to take their first breaths. A mother typically gives birth to only one calf, although twins also occur. The young often rest on their mothers' backs when the water is too deep for them, and they swim underwater to drink their mother's milk. They may drink their mother's milk on land when the mother leaves the water. Mother hippos are very protective of their young and may keep others at a distance. However, calves are occasionally left in nurseries which are guarded by one or a few adults. Calves in nurseries engage in play fights. Weaning starts between 6 and 8 months after birth, and most calves are fully weaned after a year. But simply reaching adulthood is a challenge. Crocodiles, lions, hyenas, and leopards are all potential threats while a hippo is growing up. But the most dangerous thing to a young hippo is another hippo. Sometimes, young hippos get caught in the middle of violent clashes between adults and can be bitten or crushed, occasionally by their own parent. The bite force of a hippo is 2,000 pounds per square inch. In comparison, a lion or a tiger has a bite force of 1,000 pounds per square inch. This is why very few animals will dare to disturb a hippo's territory. Because a hippo will tear out most animals in a single bite. They have powerful jaws and sharp teeth that can crush a crocodile or split a boat in two. Hippos appear to communicate vocally through grunts and bellows, and they may practice echolocation, but the purpose of these vocalizations is currently unknown. Hippos have the unique ability to hold their heads partially above the water and send out a cry that travels both through air and water. Individuals respond above and underwater. Hippos will also express threat and alarm with exhalations. Despite the hippo's kid appearance, they are among the most dangerous and aggressive of all mammals. Their canine and incisor teeth grow continuously, with canines reaching 20 inches in length. Hippo males especially use their canines for fighting. To ward off enemies, a hippo may yawn, scoop water with its mouth, shake its head, rear up, lunge, roar, grunt, chase, and make a loud wheezing sound, all of which are threat displays. A hippo can kill people if it's provoked or feels threatened, but the impressive tusks and canine teeth are mainly used for defense or fighting with other hippos. Hippos are very aggressive towards humans, whom they commonly attack whether in boats or on land with no apparent provocation. This aggression by the hippopotamus is caused by humans coming too close to their children. Of all the wild animals in Africa, the hippo is regarded as the most dangerous to both humans and other animals. It is said that hippos kill more than 430 people a year. Most of these deaths result from invading a hippo's territory or as they are trying to protect their young ones. The Pygmy Hippopotamus is native to the forests and swamps of West Africa, a rare nocturnal forest creature. Pygmy Hippopotamus is a difficult animal to study in the wild. Pygmy hippos are unknown outside West Africa until the 19th century. Introduced to zoos in the early 20th century, they breed well in captivity, and the vast majority of research is derived from zoo specimens. The survival of the species in captivity is more assured than in the wild. The World Conservation Union estimates that fewer than 3,000 pygmy hippos remain in the wild. Their lifespan in captivity ranges from 30 to 55 years, though it is unlikely that they can live this long in the wild. The skin is greenish black or brown, shading to a creamy gray on the lower body. Their skin is very similar to the common hippos, with a thin epidermis over a dermis that is several centimeters thick. Pygmy hippos have the same unusual secretion as common hippos that gives a pinkish tinge to their bodies. Pygmy hippos spend most of the day hidden in rivers. They will rest in the same spot for several days in a row before moving to a new spot. At least some pygmy hippos make use of dens or burrows that form in riverbanks. Pygmy hippos give birth both on land and water. Young pygmy hippos can swim almost immediately. At birth, pygmy hippos weigh 9.9 to 13.7 pounds. Iona is a hippopotamus born at the Chinsuku Zoo and Botanical Gardens in Chinsuku, Ohio, United States, on January 24, 2017. She was born prematurely and cared for with the assistance of the Chinichi Children's Hospital. Fiona's parents are Henry and Bibi. She was unable to stand and required bottle feeding with milk from her mother, supplemented with an infant formula. This is the first time a hippopotamus has been milked and the milk analyzed. The following month, while teething, she began refusing her bottle and became dehydrated. A catheter for the delivery of intravenous fluids was inserted with the assistance of Chinichi Children's Hospital. Fiona took her first steps on February 5th, weighing 275 pounds by May 31, when she was introduced to the media. By December 26, 2018, she weighed slightly over 1,000 pounds. On her third birthday in January 2020, 1,300 pounds. The Fiona Show was launched on Facebook in August 2017. Saving Fiona, a children's book about her written by the zoo's director, Annie Maynard, was published in June 2018. A video posted on social media by the zoo went viral, as did a couple photographs of Fiona watching them get engaged in October 2017. Hippos have long been popular zoo animals. The first zoo hippo in modern history was Obosek, who arrived at the London Zoo on May 25, 1850, where he attracted up to 10,000 visitors a day and inspired a popular song, the Hippopotamus Polka. Colombia is home to an estimated 80 to 100 hippos. The large mammals spend most of their time eating plants on land and staying cool in the water. In Colombia, they're an invasive species. Hippos are native to Africa. In non-native introductions, most conservationists consider the hippopotamus problematic and invasive in Colombia, as they have the potential to change the ecosystems, feeding heavily on plants and displacing native species. Without direct evidence that the animals are doing harm, some ecologists argue that there is no reason to cull or relocate them. Hippopotamus continue to decline due to widespread poaching for meat and ivory from the hippo's long ivory canine teeth. Currently, hippos are confined mostly to protected areas, and over the past 10 years, their populations have declined 7 to 20%. Hippos face threats from human-wildlife conflict and habitat encroachment, with hundreds being shot each year to keep them out of crops and away from homes. They are often killed for their meat under the guise of protection, and both hippo fat and their ivory canine teeth are considered valuable. Very little is known about the shy pygmy hippo, and while common hippos are listed as vulnerable and pygmy hippos in danger, both of their conservation statuses are based on the 2004 estimated recommendation. Pygmy hippos are primarily threatened by the loss of habitat, and forests are logged and converted to farmland, and are also vulnerable to poaching, hunting for bushmeat, natural predators, and war. Based on trends, it is likely their populations continue to decline. Hippos are an incredible ancient creature and they must be protected. If you like to have hippos, avoid buying products made from their ivory tusks. Encourage others to boycott these products as well. Thanks for watching this Adventurous Kids episode.
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous